Hello, folks, and welcome to Obesity Talk 8. This is Talk Show 8. Um, okay, I know I gotta figure out something to talk about here. I've been talking about some fun stuff and some hate stuff and stuff like that, so let's get into something about diet. Now, I want to know what type of lifestyle you have. Like what type of eating lifestyle you're having, because big thing is people go on diets, and it seems that a lot of people have trouble on them. And the thing is diet's a big word, and it's become to the point where dieting is like a really big responsibility that a lot of people don't feel comfortable with. And that's the bad thing, is you got to be comfortable with your diet, because you're not going to stick with it, and it's going to really ruin you. And some people, I know I have my good days and bad days with my keeping my charts right because of my memory and everything. But you really got to keep what you're doing when you start out, because eyeballing it is not a good thing. Okay. I recommend it for at least, if you really have a bad situation and you have to lose a lot of weight or whatever. I really suggest, for a good while you have to measure things and go by, whatever you can do, a chart online or something. Just not naming names, but I have one of my friends that I help out with advice and stuff. They had a problem where, they had the surgery, they lost some weight and everything, did really good, and then started eyeballing on their diet, and because of everybody else in the family eating normal stuff, they started to do it. And then I told them, well, count how much you're eating. Eat what you're eating, but then count how much you're having. And then what that person said to me the next day? It said, for breakfast, I had 1,000 calories after I counted it. 1,000 calories. And over 28 grams of fat. Now, to me, that over right there is over a half day worth of allowance for my diet. Alright, my diet is 2,000 calories, 40 grams of fat, 250 carbs, and 100 proteins. I need to get a lot of proteins in there because I don't drink protein drinks that make me sick and stuff like that, so I eat meats and stuff. And, I eat vitamins all the time, so, that's what I do. So 20 grams of fat, her having 28 is over that. So, basically, the thing is you gotta go by a lifestyle. It's gotta be a lifestyle change. It can't be just a little program. This thing is something you need to stick to stay healthy. Health is a big factor. We can't just go on a diet, lose 50 pounds, and then get off of it thinking you're able to eat everything you want, because it'll come right back. If you get fat in the first place, there's something wrong. So you're gonna get fat again and again and again, and it's gonna hurt your heart. So, I know it's hard for people to look at me and say, wow, he's giving diet information now. Why should I listen to him? Look at him. But, I'm losing weight. Trust me. Okay? I had this surgery. You all know my story. If you don't, I lost over 460 pounds from gastric bypass surgery. And if you all know me too, or if you don't, I had a disease that caused me to get overweight. And now I'm losing weight with naturally doing the hardest work I have ever done in my life. That's and so basically, be healthy, be happy. Happiness is the biggest key in this all together. You got to be happy with your life. You got to decide what type of foods you like. Find substitutes. You got to find things that are, if you like sweets, find stuff that have no sugars, that are low sugars. If you like lots of carbs, you find things with grains. Get low carbs. Set a time to have those carbs and stuff. If you like, if you like to have, oh gosh, what else could I say here? Ice cream. They make fat-free frozen yogurt. They make sugar-free ice cream. All types of different things. You need to look. There's all types of different things, and they taste good. They honestly do. You don't always have to go the tofu, disgusting food route. Okay? You can find things, but the biggest thing too is portion. biggest problem people have sometimes is their portioning, because it's really hard. Sometimes you're really hungry, you can overdo it, or your mind's telling you you're really hungry and you need more, and then you'll get so much, and then you're like, oh god, my stomach. You know, it's really something you have to watch out for, because you can really go over. Some people say, well, I put this is right there is how much I should be eating, so they'll sit there and then take a couple clops of stuff, put on their plate. That looks about right. Well, to someone, this right here is the right size for their serving for something. But to someone else, that same thing would be like, I don't know, like a big bottle of ketchup. Like it would be way more heavy or something like that. And just like with the ketchup, okay. To some person, this little thing of tomato juice right here is a serving to them. A can of tomato juice, that would be a serving to them. Someone else could probably take a half of this ketchup bottle and say that that's a serving to them because they eyeballed it. Just squirt and squirt until they think they're done. You gotta watch out. You really do. I mean, one day you will be able to say, wow, I've had this so many times. I know right there that that is a tablespoon serving, or that is a cup. I've had it so many times. But don't start, don't do it too quick, okay? So, yeah, tell me what kind of diets you guys follow. I want to know what kind of lifestyles you guys follow. I'm always interested in learning new things, and some of you had surgery, some of you didn't, so I want to know what you're doing. I know some of you are going through stuff, and I want to see how you're doing too. Let us know. Let me know here at the show. I know it's silly that I call it a show, but I like to think of it as my little world. And you'll see next video or two. The reason why I have a ketchup bottle down here is not because I'm guzzling it, and I'm actually going to do something funny for a change. Okay. Alright, people, God bless, and let me know what you're doing. Stay healthy. Portion, get on a good thing. Be happy with it. Don't be unhappy with what you're doing, because it's just gonna, it'll just fail every time. And it's not your fault because you weren't happy with it. Happiness is the key. God bless.